we got to the airport, and she opened up the book when we arrived, and she looks at the brochure, and she's like, "Dad, this is like a family summer photo album. It's all our photos. It's us. This is us. This is our photo album, but it's a visitor's guide."
So now you're going for the photography. That's starting to happen. This is becoming part of your world. How did you start to create the way to maintain your family life while you're building a business now? What were the ways that you were able to do that?
Well, with photography, lots of times, event photography happens in the evenings and the weekends, and a lot of it was in the arts organization, and primarily in here in Seattle, we have this thing called Seattle Center, where the Space Needle is and where the World's Fair was. And my kids did ballet school there, and they ended up going to high school in the same location. There's a high school there. And pretty much a majority of my clients were within this square of Seattle Center. There was the ballet, the opera, the Seattle Rep, Book-It Theater, Shakespeare, the Science Center, the Children's Museum, the Children's Theater, the Space Needle. All those people became my clients. And so I spent a lot of time in the same places that my kids spend a lot of time. And so I was there to pick them up at school. When I was on a break, I'd stop by and see them. Or maybe I'm at an event and they're performing, or I'm the photographer at the event that they're part of. So there's silos. There's a family silo, there's a personal silo, and there's a work silo. And that's how I always lived. And these silos never mixed. Now, there was no silos anymore. The line between work and family and community were blurred. It was all the same now. Right. Work was part of my family's, what they did for recreation, for their personal stuff. It was all blended together now. And that was the whole beauty of the whole thing, is that there was no, I use my kids as well to help me out as assistants. And lots of times I'll be backstage at the ballet after the performance. We have a backstage party. And typically my son is too young to be invited to these things. And it's because just, all the principal dancers and then all the donors and stuff. And so here's all these people, and Andre's the only student allowed at this party because he's helping me out. And of course, he knows everybody. So it just kind of all blended together. And that's what made it really, really fun.
Wow. That's amazing. And I know you've also got to do amazing trips to like Alaska and other parts of the world and pretty much make it a holiday while you're doing the work.
Yeah, that's right. Our kids end up becoming our assistants. They're additional, second, third photographers. They're also our models. And we're also taking a family vacation. We go to Alaska every year for couple weeks. Everything's paid for. We don't pay for anything except maybe some food. And the rest of the time, we're doing every single tour, adventure. We're in helicopters. We're ziplining. We're getting chased by bears. We're fishing. We're doing all kinds of stuff, and we're actually working. And then we go back the next summer, and they have all the brochures. The visitor's guide. And my daughter, we got to the airport, and she opened up the book when we arrived. And she looks at the brochure, and she's like, "Dad, this is like a family summer photo album. It's all our photos. It's us. This is us. This is our photo album, but it's the visitor's guide."
The visitor guide of Alaska is the Alabastro family.
Yeah, totally.
It's just brilliant. Giovanni and I often talk about instead of calling it work-life balance, it's work-life integration. And you're talking about this is like the pinnacle of that. You've completely integrated all the parts of your life into just living.
Yeah, complete integration. It's the same thing. Are you working? Well, I mean, yeah, but I'm also, living. It's the same. It's the same thing.
People ask me, they're like, "Are you a life coach or a business coach?" And I often say, when do you die? When you go to work? Like even you're living. Like life is life. Like we are living at work. We are living with our family. We are living. So, and you're taking it to that next where they're all on the same path. They're not on different roads, which is so beautiful to hear, you know? Yeah. It's
no, you guys were, I like that. It's that work-life integration. Yeah, you're right. I'm going to use that.
Yeah, it is what it is, because balance. I mean, there are times, I'm sure, and if you think about it, and like I look at it in my life, and you know, I'm all about my family life as well. And I wasn't always. You also remember, you've known me long enough. You remember my workaholic days as well. And I you know, I used to look at that and it's like either or, and now finding ways to make it all together. And then it doesn't mean sometimes that we're doing like, you know, a higher level of work around one project, but then the next 2-3 days we don't work at all. You know, like it's, you know, sometimes it's gonna be a little different. And that's where I think it gets tricky with that word balance, because people think it has to be exactly balanced on every day. And that's not the case either, right? You know, some days you're going to be putting an extra effort in for a certain thing, and then another day you're not, you know? So the integration word just suits it better, because it doesn't have this illusion that everything has to be, you know, like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, that you have the exact amount of peanut butter and the exact amount of jelly every time and every sandwich. It's you know, does that make sense?
Yeah, no, we love to kayak. So we have a kayak down in the lake, Lake Washington or Lake Union. And we got this kayak, one for exercise, and two to have, we love to go birding. And so that was the other way to go see birds, is from the water side. So, but I call this, it's not our kayak, it's our floating photography platform is what it's for.
Right.
You know, we're actually getting exercise, enjoying bird watching, which is a hobby of my wife and me, but also taking photos, which we actually sell. So it's again, integration. We
all integration.
It's all part of the same thing.
Your gym, your time with your wife, you're getting to do things that you enjoy to do, and you're also earning at the same time.
Yeah, and we'll invite friends over with those extra kayaks, and we'll bring friends along, and we show them birds, and we show them different parts of the lake and the University of Washington, and where the boys in the boat, you know, their boathouse where that was, you know, we go right by that, and you know, sleepless in Seattle houseboats, and so we're also tour guides too. That's kind of.
Well, it's all there, and then again, you're enjoying people, which goes back to your whole thing, being around people and doing it. So you've really found a way to bring all this together. Hey there, I want to give you something really big. It's called Clear Path to Customers. It's the way that we get the right language to get the right client. I like to call them your wow clients, so that you can have more results, more revenue, more raving fans, and more referrals. And I want to give this to you absolutely free. And all you have to do is go to stevenapolitan.com to check it out, or you can look at the description here. We'll put the details there. As always, remember, choose gratitude and create freedom.